Hello, everyone. As mentioned, I'm Matt Carstens from Amana. And I got to say, honestly, there's like 200 booths here. This is pretty impressive. I haven't been to Dubai at an expo before, and this is extremely impressive. So we're one of the 200. And at Amana, we have everything. So I'm going to get into the retail trading revolution. I actually have a long history. It's kind of like talking about myself, honestly, and some of you in the audience. But quick way to distill, like, what is Amana? If we've been around for about 12 years. If you want to trade any kind of CFD, like many of the providers here, we obviously have that. If you want exchange-traded Amana shares on 6 different exchanges in the region, we have that. If you want leveraged Amana shares, we have that. If you want to trade Amana shares without commissions and without exchange fees, super interesting, we have that. If you want gold and oil and 100 crypto and leveraged and unleveraged and US equities and unleveraged US equities, we have that. So we got a lot of things all wrapped up in one app and in one web application, and on to what we're here for. So I'm going to go over 3 quick things. There's only a few slides, but the first is, in relation to retail trading revolution, you have a change in access. And what does access mean? Change in decision making. And then, of course, let's look ahead. Let's not spend too much time in the past. Let's look forward. So first up is a change in access. So the internet obviously changed the world, and we hear about mobile first as well. So mobile first is more than just everyone here has their phone. Some of you are on your phone. It's because we open up our phones about 63 times a day. We unlock it 150 times a day. If you're in finance, you're probably upping the average. If you're in product, you're staring at your phone constantly. So you're in the good company. We're up in the global average and all this stuff. And it's really just 100% a part of your life. I'll speak for myself, but I know many people here. If you leave your phone at home or in the car and you go away, it's like an extension of you. And if you walk away from that, you probably are turning around to go get your phone. It is ingrained in our lives in ways that we never thought would imagine. So this is a change in access. This sets the stage to really the retail revolution. And that gets into trade what you love. So we have people trading, obviously, stocks, equities all over the world, crypto, gold, oil, bonds, soft commodities. Now we got NFTs. Now we got crypto. And there's some other cool things coming up as well. So the access point of that is what's changed tremendously. When I started, it was in the 90s boom. I was in high school, and I wanted to trade because I thought trading was the coolest thing in the world. And so I'm sitting around a lunch table in high school, and I would get up and go to a payphone and put in my quarters in a payphone and call up my broker and get charged $20 or something to place a trade. And back then, you needed $2,500, $5,000 or more to have an account. It's a huge friction point for most traders, and I was like the weird guy calling somebody on the phone. Now we have fractionalized stocks, pretty much thanks to E-Trade, which gives an access point to people to buy not just one share of Tesla, it might be hundreds of dollars, but 0.001 share of Tesla, or gold, or any of these other assets I mentioned. So you can trade them for just $1 worth, get access to a market you never thought you'd get before without maybe trying to get into an ETF or something. And it opens up the world. The world can now participate in this. From the mobile phone, in your apps from your phone, the internet connection, and now you have fractionalized assets that just completely transforms the world. We have CFDs that we talked about, but what CFDs allow is any asset can have a different attribute. So of course you can have brokers competing with higher leverage or different spreads or different financing charges, all sorts of stuff, but we can get into synthetic assets too. So if we wanted to have like a Bitcoin gold cross or some other pair trade like Tesla gold or Tesla oil or whatever your heart can imagine, most good CFD providers can enable that for their trading community. Talked about new markets with meme coins and NFTs. So these, of course, are just a huge growth. I talked to a lot of, I'll say, elderly people that don't quite understand the NFT aspect of it yet, but it's a wave that is not going to stop. And again, it's opening up doors. And for a marketing department, it's like candy. You have pretty pictures. You can promote pretty pictures and whatever hot's moving really quickly with an NFT and maybe get exposure to the next Bansky or Gursky or any other type of artist out there. There's a whole revolution happening in that. And again, you can get fractionalized exposure to that as well. Really cool. Low and no fees comes with competition and comes with liquidity. And that's what crypto markets are opening up. And then technology abstracts away complexity. Technology is a driving force of pretty much everything in our lives. That little image on the top right, I know it's hard to see. That's our order ticket. All you need to know about that is at Amana, I was thinking, like, you know what? If we're opening up new markets, people don't know what a bid is or an offer is. They don't know what how do I place a buy or a stop or a limit? Like, what does that mean? Is a buy stop below the market or above the market? It's confusing. So at Amana, you don't have to know it. Put in your price. If we know it's a price below the market, it's a buy limit. Why do you have to tell us that? So we've abstracted away technology in our order ticket. Just tell us the price you want. We'll take care of the rest. And then the last point there, I think some other commentators talked about it, 18 billion to 30 billion in 5 years. Obviously, COVID helped with that, but all the rest of what I discussed certainly contributes as well. Next up is decision making. There's 2 slides on this. The first is, this is where I grew up, and many of you here grew up. It was a very top-down approach. It was the suits. It was people like this, except with a nice tie. It was the Jim Cramers and the people on Smart Money or Investors Business Daily or Barron's Magazine. It was physical. It was going to structured programs or courses, paying them a few $1,000s to sit in a room for a weekend. It was super physical and information thrown down at you of how to trade and what to trade and the system involved. The guy in the bottom right would be someone you'd see on a weekend for sure. That's completely changed. And now we have a social, a bottom-up approach. The world completely changed, again, going back to mobile phones and apps. Again, not the greatest pictures, but I'll explain them. The image on the left, all it is, you don't have to know who it is, it's a thread. We probably all know what threads are. But you have peer-to-peer people writing threads about what they think about any market 24 hours a day, other people looking at it, translating it for them, also sharing it, putting onto different media sources. So if somebody posts a thread on Twitter, somebody picks it up and puts it on YouTube or TikTok or whatever else. So that is it's breaking the old model completely, because now everybody can educate and the user has to decide like what's important and what isn't. Who do you like? Top right, Wall Street Bets. I think we know Wall Street Bets though too, but this gets into decision making of the mob. So mobs can form with people, like in any type of topic, and if they get condensed like a spool of fish, it's insane, and they can move markets. And so that was a really good example of what happened years back, and we're going to continue to see that as we move forward. Excuse me. Bottom right is just an example. This is a guy on YouTube, and this goes beyond just talking about what do they think about a chart. This gets into what's happening in AI and what's happening in technology again. He's teaching somebody how to make an agent, how to make a bot. And so again, this is an educational awareness of what's happening in the market, maybe how to find some edge for the time being, and the world communicating and having like a collective mind and sharing that with themselves. Last slide. So looking ahead, new entrants. We have already huge growth in retail traders, which we talked about here, but we're going to have hundreds of millions or billions of bots. They're already out there. You don't need to know coding. You do natural language right into your search thing and say, I want to buy X asset if the RSI is this, and the moon phase is that, and there's a storm over in Europe. It doesn't matter. And so people can create bots. It's going to open up the world to people who the previous person said you need to have time to like be an active trader. No, you don't. In the old world, you did. In the new world, you're going to just tell it what you want, and it's going to run for you automatically and give you a report, tell you how you did. You can make risk strategies around it. There'll be marketplaces where people will share this information. New entrants is going to go from human to human and non-human, and it's already happening, and it's going to go really fast. New liquidity. This gets into, of course, tokenization. So we got new liquidity coming with new entrants anyways, but also the RWA, real-world assets. So because of tokenization, people can start buying real estate, wine, art, sports teams, historical significant artifacts, and you can open up liquidity pools for these things that retail would never be able to participate in, and this is going to completely change the market. Also, we got prediction markets. So there's a couple firms out there that are dabbling in prediction markets as well. So the easy one is like, what's going to happen in the US elections, or is X team going to win this weekend? So, or even weather, it doesn't matter. So prediction markets are going to be part of the trading experience as well. And all of this stuff is just a way to speculate or invest for new incumbents coming in. Decision making from top down to bottom up. So this touches on one login with access to everything. So like I mentioned in the beginning, Amana has one login, one access to all those markets, leverage, unleveraged, et cetera. But we're also going to have, not just us, but others, we're going to have, you got commentary already, you got what's happening in news, you have your influencer that you're following, and you're going to have your identity that you're going to be able to portable move around too. So it'll be in the not too distant future where I'm opened up at X, I have my KYC and my identity tied to them, and I can pop that out and plug it into another broker over here. And so that is going to help, again, open up markets, make things move. The cream's going to rise to the top in the broker community, and it's going to be really interesting to watch. Influencers and power laws. So this just gets into, we have like a Mr. Beast and other, obviously, famous people as well. But these influencers, again, just like Wall Street bets before, they can move markets. And they're going to start learning, hey, right now I can sell a movie star and I can get into maybe perfume or sell coffee or something. Well, wait a minute. Now I can talk about these assets or talk about this asset class or have an artifact that is unique to me and a gateway for my community. So influencers are going to be huge. They're going to get bigger, and they're going to start moving around in ways that we haven't seen before. And then culture. So decision making with culture. We have Apple fanboys. We got Tesla. Gaming and memes and everything. Everything has a community around it, and this just allows it to open up to reach more people, to strengthen those communities. And so people, again, can participate in them. Now they have an asset with a price attached to that community. That's incredible. And so once that happens, I don't just have to think about, like, I don't know, EVs being Tesla. EVs can be many other things, and then you can wrap them up in a CFD and make a special index of it. So this all is interconnected. That's basically what this image is on the left. Those are just different like cultures, and they're going to mix and match and give you a lot of trading opportunities. And finally, increase in access, 24-hour insights and entertainment. What all this means is discretionary trading is going to become more common. More people are going to be traders and less investors, or they'll have a mix of both. But this pushes that trade duration down considerably. Somebody also mentioned that, so I completely agree with that. You're going from maybe holding an asset for years to months to days to, you know, where that goes. So especially with when I talked about those agents are going to run for you all day long in the background. That's going to really increase trading. Asset diversification, I just mentioned a whole bunch of these assets and all these different real-world assets and tokenized things that they can get. And with fractionalization, anybody can access them very quickly. So asset diversification for an individual is going to increase, is my view. And then I think average trade duration will lower too. With that goes costs, competition. It's a feedback loop. There's a new asset class that opens up. There's some money involved in that because it's new and sexy. And then all the brokers come in to attack it. The costs go down. That brings in more users, so there's better access points. And the cycle continues. So really exciting time coming for everybody involved. I love to be a part of it. And we have a booth near the cafeteria. So if you have questions or just want to like pick brains, come and find me. Thank you.